Okay. Call the meeting to order for the regular council meeting on August 15, 2023 for the Corporation of the Town of Cobalt. Before we begin our council meeting, I want to make a statement. As members of this council, we were each required to swear an oath of office, and it is an expectation of the public and of the provincial government that we take our oath seriously. I think it's important to remind ourselves that the oath we took obligated us to exercise our elected office truly, faithfully, and impartially to the best of our knowledge and ability. We as a council have not been fulfilling our obligations as we have sworn to do. At this table, we have allowed items to be inappropriately added to the agenda without providing proper notice to the public or providing municipal staff the time to prepare reports to help our decision making. We have allowed councillors to disrespect one another and municipal staff. We have allowed micromanaging of the town manager and municipal employees to report to him. There is no place at this table for personal agendas or to air personal grievances. This is a place for a respectful debate of a matter or an issue before us and making decisions that are in the best interest of the town. There is no place at this table for micromanaging our town manager or those who report to him, nor is there a place to performance manage the town manager or his employees in an open public forum. There is a place at this table for us to adopt service level policies and set performance expectations for the town manager and hold them to accountable to achieve those expectations. Relying on doing things the way we have always done them has resulted in our continued dysfunction. It is time for us to take steps to stop this cycle of dysfunction. From now on, we all need to come to council meetings with an open mind and be prepared to be persuaded. From now on, we have to focus on the overall success of our town, not what we believe is best for ourselves or our families, even if that means we have to make decisions that negatively impact ourselves or our families. I apologize to the public that we have not better represented them at this table and that we have struggled to move forward even after significant training about our roles and responsibilities. The remainder of this council term will be challenging, and I, for one, do not want to waste our time and taxpayer money on councillors behaving poorly at meetings. I believe in our community. I want to see us be successful 50 years from now. For us to do that, we need to stop tearing each other apart, undermining our staff, or sticking our noses into matters that are not for us to be involved in. I'm not asking for you to like each and every person at our table or employed by our town. I am asking that you respect each other as elected officials and respect our staff. Please consider the impact of your statements at this table and put yourself in the other person's shoes before you speak. Tonight, I'm asking each of you to be committed to the future of Cobalt and putting aside petty resentments or long-term grudges. It is time for us all to roll up our sleeves and help our community to be the best it can be. And I'm going to go around the table and I'm going to ask you to reaffirm that that is the case for each councillor. Councillor Wilcox?
Always been the case.
Councillor Cooper?
Absolutely.
Councillor Sturgeon?
I agree. Yes.
Councillor Hughes? Councillor
Absolutely.
Anderson? And Councillor Hunter?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Item 2, disclosure of pecuniary interest and general nature thereof. Is there any? 3, public meetings, there are none. 4, deputations and delegations, there are none. 5, adoption of meeting agenda, draft motion. Be it resolved that council approve the agenda of the regular meeting dated August 15th, 2023 as presented. I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Starchuk, Councillor Anderson, any discussion on the agenda? All in favor? Carried. Approval of previous council minutes, draft motion. Be it resolved that council approve the following minutes as presented. Regular meeting July 18th, 2023. Committee of the Whole meeting, August 1st, 2023. Need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Cooper, Councillor Anderson. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried. Items for council consideration. 7.1, Cobalt Walking Trails, draft motion. Be it resolved that council give authorization to the Cobalt Historical Society to assume responsibility for the Cobalt Walking Trails, including upgrades, replacing the signs and guidebooks as necessary, and ensuring proper sign locations and historical accuracy. Need a mover? A mover and a seconder. Councillor Hughes, Councillor Anderson, any discussion? Councillor Starchuk.
Yeah, I'm just going back to referring to Maggie Wilson's letter that she sent on July 17th. She requested two things. I see we have addressed number one before we assume responsibility for the Cobalt Walking Trails. We request authorization of the town to do so. When that has been granted, we plan to upgrade, replace signs and the guidebooks as necessary, and ensuring proper sign location and historical accuracy. But number two, I don't see it addressed in the motion here. It says, since our insurance policy covers only visitors and volunteers who come to the parish of Silverfair, request confirmation from the town that their policy covers those who visit the Cobalt Walking tour sites. I'm just wondering, was she acknowledged? Did you get
That was addressed by staff.
So it was, okay, so
Yes.
it's been covered, it is covered?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay. All in favor? Carried. Items for council information, there are none. Be it resolved, do I read this if we don't have any? I don't read that if we don't have any. Be it resolved that council accept the items for council consideration as presented. Need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Cooper, Councillor Starchuk. Any discussion on no items? All in favor? Carried. 8, bylaws and agreements. 8.1, bylaw number 2023-20, amendment number 3 to bylaw number 2021-32, traffic and parking. Draft motion, whereas council received staff report number 2023-0628, received staff report number 2023-0628 at the Committee of the Whole meeting, July 12, 2023, with recommendations for the amendments to the traffic and parking bylaw. Therefore, be it resolved that bylaw number 2023-20 being an amendment to the traffic and parking bylaw number 2021-32, read a first and second time on the 18th day of July 2023, read the third time and finally passed this 15th day of August 2023, and further that said bylaw be signed and sealed by the mayor and clerk. I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Starchuk, Councillor Anderson, any discussion? Okay. All in favor? Carried. Bylaw number 2023-21 to adopt an encroachment policy for the town of Cobalt. Draft motion, whereas council received staff report number 2023-0629 at the Committee of the Whole meeting, July 12, 2023, with a recommendation to adopt an encroachment policy for the town of Cobalt. Therefore, be it resolved that bylaw number 2023-21, being a bylaw to adopt an encroachment policy for the town of Cobalt, read a first and second time this 18th day of July 2023, read a third and finally passed this 15th day of August 2023, and further that said bylaw be signed and sealed by the mayor and clerk. I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Hughes, Councillor Starchuk, any discussion? Councillor Cooper?
I don't see anything in this for an appeal process. So can we write something up for that?
Okay.
And a fee schedule. of some sort. If somebody wants to build a shed or whatever on town property, should they not be paying a fee per square foot having that building or whatever on municipal property?
It was discussed based on,
We look at this a little further and maybe defer it till the next meeting?
And we'll defer it to the next meeting. And if you could to communicate directly with staff in the office about your concerns.
Yeah, I'll give Steve that.
8.3. Oh, sorry.
Me.
Oh,
Hello.
sorry.
Sorry. I'm kind of along the same lines of, I like what's written. I think it's important that we have an encroachment policy. But I think Kirkland Lake would be a great town to talk to and look at. Like, we do have some alleyways that are not maintained and a fire truck would not go through because it's full of shrubs, and that in Kirkland Lake, for some unused alleyways, they've started to allow people to buy them. Some people who don't otherwise have parking and it's adjacent to their lot, they lease it for an annual fee that's about equivalent to what property taxes would be. So it's another revenue source for the town if the people don't want to buy it or the town wants to reserve the right to put a road there in the future, then it gets leased. Or so that is maybe something we could look at. I'm not against passing what we have. I just think that there could be more.
Yeah, I'm just gonna cut you off. If you can forward your ideas through email to the town office or go in and speak to them. Because I think that's a little more involved than an encroachment policy.
Yep.
What you're speaking of, and that's something that'll have to come before council for a discussion and decision. Okay? Thank you. 8.3. Sorry.
motion to defer?
Yeah, I need a motion to defer. Mover, seconder. Okay, Councillor Cooper, Councillor Wilcox. All in favor of deferring to the next meeting? Carried. Thank you, Councillor Wilcox. 8.3, bylaw number 2023-23, accessibility plan. Draft motion. Whereas the Ontarians with Disability Act 2001 and the Accessibility for Ontarians with Disabilities Act 2005 require municipalities to have a 5-year plan to identify, prevent, and remove barriers to accessibility in each municipality's bylaws, policies, practices, and services. Therefore, be it resolved that bylaw number 2023-23, being a bylaw to adopt an accessibility plan for the corporation of the town of Cobalt for the years 2023 to 2028, be taken as read a first, second, and third time this 15th day of August 2023, and further that the said bylaw be signed and sealed by the mayor and clerk. I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Cooper, Councillor Starchuk. Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, carried. 9, unfinished business. There is none. 10, new business. 10.1, schedule of accounts. Draft motion. Be it resolved that council receives the following schedules as presented. Schedule number 2023-14 in the amount of $136,626.95. Schedule number 2023-15 in the amount of $190,528.78. Need a mover and a seconder? Councillor Anderson, Councillor Wilcox. Any discussion on the schedule of accounts? Nope. Okay, all in favor? Carried. Okay, 10.2, Mayor's Report. Something I would like to address from our last meeting as part of my report is the comments made regarding potential cost savings ideas. Some of these comments have caused considerable concern from the public and from the town staff. And I would like to publicly assure everyone that council has not considered cost saving strategies and has certainly not endorsed the actioning of these ideas. And that's all I have for mayor's report. Item 11, closed meeting, there is none. Item 12, business arising from the closed meeting, there is none. 13, confirmation bylaw, draft bylaw. Be it resolved that the bylaw number 2023-24, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council of the corporation of the town of Cobalt, be taken as read a first, second, and third time this 15th day of August 2023. And further, that said bylaw be signed and sealed by the mayor and clerk. I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Starchuk, Councillor Anderson, or sorry, Councillor Hughes, Councillor Anderson, almost made it a full meeting. Okay, and all in favor? Carried. Item 14, adjournment, draft motion. Be it resolved that the regular meeting of council be adjourned at 6:46 p.m. I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Wilcox, Councillor Cooper. All in favor? Carried. Thank you, everybody.